No, you gotta get a fresh harvested crystal. Fresh out of some worm's asshole.
I don't sense any mana in this stone. Your father said that an
So
asperix
it technically
is a
didn't
spirit fossil,
have to come
or
out of the
Warriorz.
worm's asshole. It was just convenient. I'm just saying, like, it didn't have to come out of the worm's asshole. It was
I
just...
was making a joke.
Well, I mean, you saw the boss, right?
Yeah, I did.
Great. As if
I'm just saying, like, it just happened to be there and it happened to work, so, huh?
Speaking of giant serpentine insect creatures,
I almost thought you were going to say, speaking of a worm's asshole, but go on.
The new chapter of One Punch Man came out,
That seems like a lot
and
of
it's
work.
like, it's 130 pages.
Why?
I don't fucking know. And I got reminded why I'm done with One Punch
What
Man.
about you?
What?
I'm
I
done.
have to get
It's
stuff ready. I'll meet you at the edge of town.
because I am tired of characters who don't necessarily evolve
I
at
haven't
all.
been back here in a while, but the town hasn't changed one
Because
bit.
there's a fight between Genos and a giant
They
centipede
say
monster.
that back during the mining boom,
Mm-hmm.
this whole street was packed with merchant stalls.
Is that right? I was
You
just
know,
thinking
we have
about
time.
this
I'll explain the whole thing.
Oh no, wait. First, I have to talk about you meeting the strongest character in the game. Oh no, wait. She's there.
Yeah, she's right
Right-
there,
yeah.
there.
Right there. The strongest character in the game.
But so
Oh, hold on, wait. I do want to mention one thing. Okay, so you remember when I said in the sequel, in the final, and you're hanging out with the final boss, and he meets her, and he says, she's on my list of people I never want to fight. That's
Yeah.
2 people long. I was wrong. She's the only person on that list. he said because I remember that scene being great, so I went back and rewatched it, and he was just like, Leia, your mother is currently on my list of people I never want to fight. Currently, she is the only one on it.
anyway, the chapter opens up with fucking Bang, the old man martial arts guy,
The water splitting rock fist, whatever
Yeah.
thing.
beating up his pupil, who is getting built up to being like a really strong bad guy at some point.
Okay.
And as I'm reading this, I'm convinced that no matter what, Garo is going to get out of this situation, because they're building him up so much that the only person who is allowed to beat him is Saitama. That's how much they're building him up.
Okay.
And it's not that he's strong, it's that he's got determination, and eventually that determination is going to lead to him being the strongest enemy.
Okay.
So he's getting beat up, and the Monster Association
All right, I'm good to go. The mine's
wants
been
to
closed
help
for a
him
while,
escape
so I hope
so
you're
that-
ready for some
so that he can
smoking.
join the Monster Association.
What the fuck is the Monster Association?
Monsters decided that if heroes were going to team up, they were going to team
You
up.
have to tell me everything.
Fair.
Was it like super cosmopolitan?
So,
were you able to make friends?
The monsters
It was pretty normal.
enact their plan
That's all you
to
have to
help him
say?
escape,
You're always boring
and
everyone with long-winded
a giant
explanations,
centipede
but when
monster
I
shows
ask a
up.
question, I get the cold
and they're
shoulder.
like,
Come on, you're blowing things out
when
of
Garo was
proportion.
like, "Oh, I would have beat
You're
that
gonna
old man,"
talk
he goes,
you're
and
gonna
then the
tell me
guys explain to
everything.
him
You have
like
10 seconds.
affinities for
10,
matches and stuff, and like
9, 8,
there's
Well,
definitely
there was a nursery
like
school
this is definitely one of your worst pairings
But on the day I went to see my
of fighting
professor, I got attacked by a girl in red
the
clothes.
cyborg
So
and
then I couldn't go
the
back to
two
the
martial
store
artists that
anymore.
are over there.
Although that did result in me
And,
meeting Mila.
but the centipede can deal with it because only like these 4 people can beat him.
I got it.
Whatever.
Message received loud and clear.
And then so the centipede's attacking, and the good guys are having a hard time fighting him. And eventually it leads to one of those moments where like Genos is like trying his hardest, and he's like gets to the point where like he's like kind of near, like he's like in that super broken up like Genos state, and he's
Right.
like the monster like isn't like he's not gonna win, and then they're like, oh hey, here's Saitama to deal with that. And then Saitama beats the guy in one punch, as he does.
As one does.
As he does, specifically he. I will never say the phrase "as one does" in One Punch Man. And it was at that point that I was like, well, and like I got super excited because Saitama showed up in time and punched the monster. But then at that point I was like, this is all this is just watching somebody try to fight a monster, getting their shit pushed in, and then waiting for Saitama to show up. And then that's the moment that I was like, this is why I'm tired of this.
But it's Saitama, the strongest there
If it
is.
didn't take 100 pages to get there, I would have been okay with it. That's my main gripe, is how long it took to get there.
Oh, it took an entire 100 and some odd pages to get to that. Okay, no, now I understand.
And then I'm thinking, and then I started like reflecting on like the people in the One Punch Man universe who, like, anybody with common sense who saw Saitama do anything should literally phrase the question, why isn't this guy the number 1 hero?
Because he's not. Duh. That's all you need to know, is that he's not the number 1 hero. That's the important part. Did you get Resurrection already? Damn.
And the only reason Saitama cannot be the number 1 hero is because if he was the number 1 hero, then the Hero Association would go out of their way to call him when things happen, and thus he would know when things happen, and he would show up on time. But no, we can't have him show up on time, because somebody's got to have a cool fight.
Well, yeah, Genos has cool fights.
That he never wins.
So?
I don't like it when people don't win, even when they try their hardest.
I don't know, sometimes people don't win even if they try their hardest. You just do, in fact, have that "I'm so done with it" look on your face about it.
I am.
Hey, that's a good ability. So as we see here, Leia is our rogue of the party. She has the special linked ability Item Steal, where if you knock down an enemy, she will steal an item from them. Which is this is actually very important that that she do that to certain enemies. Because there are enemies that can use the items that they're holding for as long as they're holding the item. But if Leia steals it from them, they can't use the item. And that is relevant because the final boss uses Omega Elixir, which is a full heal for him and the other person that you're fighting.
So what you're saying is that it is impossible to beat the final boss without this person in your party.
No, because sometimes he won't use the item. Or no, it's not him that uses the item, it's the other person that you fight that uses the item. And you have to either kill them before they use the item, or steal the item so they never have the ability to use it. Either one works. It's not like, oh, I fucked up and I let them use the item and it's game over. Because you can still kill them.
Don't worry, it's okay. I just won't use her during that battle.
You won't have a choice.
What? Are you telling me during the final boss fight I don't have access to the full party?
Oh, in a sense, yes and no. I will not tell you how this goes out because it's actually my favorite final boss fight in any game ever because of what they do.
Do they just switch out my party
You'll see.
constantly?
I'm actually not going to tell you.
Do I have to use everybody one by one?
I am not going to tell you. It's not as drastic as I'm making it sound. It's just a really cool thing that I really like.
Don't mess with me.
I'd like to point out that she linked with me. It's not potential.
Trust me, it's better. You're better off linked than not linked. Not only do you get the whole synergized stuff, dying, but you also get access to the
Time for a black belt.
the stat
Don't
buffs.
worry, we're gonna see that like 50 times before this is over.
Oh yes, that. Well, you know you can
See,
skip
the thing
those.
is that the thing is that the viewer gets the break because every so many minutes I cut it into a part and then that part doesn't get uploaded until like every other day because I put Mario in between it. But for us,
Are you just standing there?
I wasn't looking at the screen, so I don't know why.
Fair. What I was saying. You know you can skip victory animations, right?
Yeah, I do. Punch that chicken frog in the face.
Yeah. I forgot what they're called. Rivets or some shit like that.
Is fighting the
chicken
only answer?
Close enough. Do you think it tastes like chicken or frog?
I heard that frog tastes like chicken, so I bet it's both.
You know, maybe that's where they got the idea. They're like, hey, frog tastes like chicken. What if we made a chicken frog? Then it would taste. Then it would taste like chicken twice. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah.
Dead end?
I know you don't like it when I I know you don't like it when I criticize your playing, but I do wish you would mess around with linked arts more than like
Then
zero.
with just me though.
Yeah,
No, not gonna happen.
there are some useful linked arts for like everybody.
Because once I make my go-to stuff, I don't even bother with everything else.
I'm just saying because Leia has Leia's linked arts with Jude are really good for like crowd control. I don't know if you actually have them. Oh yeah, you have soaring vortex, and she also has soaring vortex. So you have the double soaring vortex art, which is it's not Tempest Twister, that's something else. Whatever the fuck it is, but they have a double soaring vortex linked art. It's pretty cool.
LaRonde is just like you said, Jude.
Like, Leia's linked arts are almost always super cool.
Yeah, I
But,
guess it is. But LaRonde is
she's
home
one
to
of
an
the
awesome landmark.
lesser useful party members
What
because
is it?
she's a
It's
healer
called the
physical
LaRonde
attacker,
Lodge. It's a haven of rest and
but her
healing with
heals are all
delicious food
single
and a
target as
family
opposed to
atmosphere.
Elise's
Is that any
AoE
different from other
heals.
lodges?
It's
And
actually just
if
Leia's
I've
house.
ever played
The family
any
atmosphere part is
game
true, though.
ever,
Her mom will
it's,
scold
I know
you
that
if you don't clean
AoE
your plate.
heals are
And if you aren't out of
always
bed for
better
breakfast, she'll
than
wake you.
single target heals.
So I'm not
No
so
matter
sure about
how
the rest
powerful
and
the
healing
single
part.
target heal
Damn it,
is,
Jude.
because
You're right,
eventually
potential
the AoE
customers.
heal
But it's all
will be
true,
powerful
isn't it?
enough to
The most
just
remarkable thing about LaRonde
heal you as much as
is
you
that it
need to
somehow
be
produces
healed.
people like you two.
The only time where I've seen single target heals be better than multi-target heals is in Final Fantasy IV.
Oh, well, technically, all of your spells are either single target or multi-target. And when you
You
multi-target,
get this weird diminishing return thing when you make it a multi-target.
it's I don't know. I don't know what the math is, but it's like a thing. Anyway, either way, in Tales games, whoever is your AoE healer and is generally also your a spellcaster, because there's a similar dynamic in Tales of the Abyss where your AoE healer Tyr is also a spellcaster, and your single target healer Natalia is an archer. Though she's split between the physical attacks and the single target heals and buffs. Tyr is just a strictly better party member than Natalia, and it's basically the same here. Elise is almost entirely strictly better than Leia. Leia is useful because she has resurrection. I think she has it now.
Yeah, I think she does.
But I don't think Elise does get resurrection, but she doesn't get it till a little bit later. So Leia has what else? Leia is also useful because her attack stat's pretty good, and the item stealing is really useful for like rare drops and whatever. Because it's more of as the game tells you. I don't know if you've paid attention to it or not, but all of your link abilities have a bonus effect to work depending on what type of enemy you're targeting. Like Mila binds speed type enemies even without them being stunned sometimes, so you don't have to stun them. And what is it? Guard type enemies are more likely to guard, and thus Breaker will almost always activate. Power type enemies are more likely to have knockdown attacks, which make Jude's ability more useful. But you're always playing a Jude, so you're never gonna see that. Rowan is more likely to. Well, any enemy that's in the magic category will cast magic, so automatically Rowan will use the auto magic guard. And then Leia is more likely to steal from strange type enemies, like your weird mole people things and whatever. And they almost always and the steal is almost generally a shop item.
Leia, I need you to get your shit together and steal from everybody equally.
We have to knock them down. You have to knock them down and then not attack. Yep, see, there you go. Stole a thing.
Over already?
I didn't know that knockdown was a part of the steal, so I guess it kind of worked out that I was just grinding out Aqua Sweep.
Wow, you got really strong while you were away.
Yep.
And I see you're as merciless as ever with that stuff.
Oh yeah. There's a conversation about how Leia just beats up Jude all the time.
Jude
Oh
mentioned
yeah,
that
and
your
then
friend used to
Mila
train
like gets
must
upset
have been
because
you.
of the
Yep.
abuse.
It started
And
as
you know
Cornelius'
what?
physical
That's
therapy.
actually
That's right.
kind of
My mom was the
amazing
instructor, and she
that
trained
like
us
they
good.
have that character dynamic,
Respectable.
and then someone comes in
I hear you.
and it's just
They tell
like,
you
no,
it's
that's not cool. That's not.
I don't like the fact that you bully Jude. What do you mean I bully Jude?
Well, you would come out and attack me at random.
Sorry.
Ah, now it all makes sense.
Oh, it all makes sense now.